In the vast African savanna and the dense jungles of the world, there exists a hierarchy we all believe we know. The strong dominates the weak and the big devours the small, but there is a force that breaks all the rules of physics and biology, a force contained in just a few drops of translucent liquid. Today we will witness how the most imposing predators on Earth, lions, leopards, and even elephants, fall to their knees before creatures that have no limbs but possess evolution's most perfect weapon, venom. A black-necked spitting cobra crosses paths with a puff adder. Although both are lethal, the puff adder takes advantage of its larger size to deliver the first blow, quickly sinking its fangs into the cobra's body. The reaction is nil. The cobra doesn't even try to counterattack, leaving its rival paralyzed as the nervous system shuts down under the effect of neurotoxins. The puff adder, aware of its victory, simply waits for death to finish preparing its feast. In the world of the small, the Black Mamba is not a snake. It is a powerful weapon that moves at 20 kilometers per hour. In the blink of an eye, a small rat is struck by a fatal bite. The speed of the attack is such that the human eye barely perceives it. The venom of the Black Mamba, loaded with dendrotoxins, is so potent there is no possible physical escape. What we see is not resistance, but a funeral march lasting only minutes in which the rodent's heart begins to fail as it desperately tries to survive in vain. This is, without a doubt, one of the most raw and disturbing images nature can offer us. A male lion, the absolute personification of power and sovereignty, convulsing violently on the ground. The one responsible for bringing down this 200-kilo titan is a Black Mamba that barely weighs a fraction of its mass. The venom has unleashed absolute chaos inside the feline's body, causing progressive muscle paralysis and imminent respiratory failure. Panic is visible in the great predator's eyes. Its pupils dilate as it struggles for a breath of air that its now paralyzed lungs cannot process. A zebra writhes in a macabre dance of pain after an encounter with a Black Mamba. Apparently, the mamba bit it in a vital area, causing the venom to spread through its body more quickly. The most heartbreaking part of this scene is the helplessness of its companions. Despite strong social bonds, the other zebras can only watch as their member dies in slow agony. It is a brutal reminder that the mamba's venom is fast enough to prevent defense, yet slow enough to prolong its victim's suffering. Even in the face of death, a snake's instinct can be erratic and unpredictable. In this almost surreal scene, a small snake repeatedly attacks the remains of a lion that died long ago. There is no logical intent to feed, as the prey's size is thousands of times larger than what the snake could swallow. What we witness is a pure panic response. The snake recognizes the chemical scent of an alpha predator, and its nervous system reacts with blind defensive aggression. It attacks death itself, unable to distinguish that the real danger has passed, proving that in nature, fear is a mechanism that never rests. Confidence can be the costliest mistake in the savannah. An imposing lion makes the tactical error of underestimating a Black Mamba that crossed into its territory. A single bite as fast as a whip is enough to instantly neutralize this giant's path, which convulses and trembles in pain. The moral from this encounter is clear. In the wild, brute strength and steel muscles are irrelevant against the sophistication of chemical toxicity. An animal that minutes before seemed invincible ends up reduced to a lifeless mass by a creature that is literally skin and venom. While a great feline was stalking through the bushes waiting for its next meal, it was the one ambushed. The mamba's attack was so fast that the lion probably didn't understand the severity of the situation until the venom started circulating through its veins. What was going to be an afternoon of hunting turned into a sudden and silent end. Just by looking at its eyes, we can realize the agony it must have suffered at that moment. We enter the darkness of a burrow, the territory where snakes are true nightmares. A Black Mamba glides with terrifying speed, blocking the only exit for a rodent. In the tunnel's confinement, the attacks are precise and lethal. With no space to flee, the burrow mouse's fate is sealed by the shadow of the mamba, who not only captures it, but turns it into its lunch. And before continuing, remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video to keep watching these moments that few get to witness. Mongooses are famous as snake killers, but even they know when to retreat. In this tense encounter, a hungry mongoose tries its usual tactic of biting the tail, but the Black Mamba is not common prey. Each time the snake turns around, the mongoose backs off with almost reverential respect. In the end, intelligence triumphs over hunger. The mongoose decides no meal is worth the risk of a deadly bite. A leopard and its cub find what seems like easy food, an eagle dying from Black Mamba venom, However, the snake, though having already used much of its venom, refuses to give up its prey. An unusual confrontation occurs where the mamba, with pure defensive stubbornness, manages to intimidate the feline. The leopard attempts multiple attacks to take the eagle, but it is useless. After a few seconds, it understands that continuing to fight is an unnecessary risk and decides to withdraw, letting the snake keep its trophy. Youthful inexperience proves fatal for a young lion. With almost childish curiosity, it approaches a black mamba as if it were a toy. When the snake launches its defensive attack, the lion barely reacts, treating it like an insect bite. It is his last mistake. After a few steps, the neurotoxins take control and the feline falls to the ground, proving that the distance between innocence and death in the savannah is just a few meters. A male lion, which in his prime would weigh more than 200 kilos of pure muscle, faced a black mamba in a tough battle. Although he technically survived the initial bite from his opponent, the residual and secondary effects of the venom have devastated his metabolism. His ribs are painfully visible through his weathered skin, and his mane, once a symbol of pride, hangs limp over a gaunt face. He is living proof that venom doesn't always neutralize instantly. Sometimes it simply withers the essence of an alpha predator until it leaves him a ghost in his own territory. In one of the most disturbing scenes of this record, we see a hyena desperately fighting for its life. The mamba's venom caused what experts call selective paralysis. Its hind legs still respond, but its front limbs are completely inert, as if made of cloth. The hyena drags itself across the ground using only its rear in an act of pure, desperate will. This image macabrely shows how toxins act as biological switches, blocking the nervous system erratically and cruelly, leaving the animal trapped in its own body. Not even the largest terrestrial mammal on Earth, the African elephant, is immune to the black mamba's power. An elephant lies on its side on the ground, trumpeting agonizing calls that resonate like laments throughout the savannah after being bitten on one of its limbs. However, here the story takes a different turn. Humans intervene. A rescue team works frantically, risking being close to such a large and stressed animal to administer massive doses of antivenom. It's a race against time where science tries to save a giant from one of evolution's most perfect toxins ever created.